Am I looking good, Damo?
Stunning as always.
Unbelievable.
You're all stunning.
Definitely sure that
Let's think about
this
it.
guy. Let's think about how he looks.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 5th episode of the RENNSPORT Radio Check. It's the 5th episode already. As always, I am joined by Mr. Kim.
Hello?
And Mr. Morris.
Hello.
Is it really the 5th?
It is the 5th.
Feels like yesterday we started this.
Well,
There was a long break.
Yeah, that's true.
We're gonna talk a bit about some stuff that we have coming up for 2025, but more on this will be in the next Radio Check after this one. But we still have some interesting things that we can at least talk about today to you guys, which is probably the juiciest part. And then we are gonna finish off with some community questions that people could send via the Discord. If you want to have your questions answered as well in the future, feel free to join the Discord. We announce it there, and then you can send questions in the specified channel whenever we call out for this. So let us start with the quick recap. And the first thing is for Kim, because we started from after last Radio Check with the early access launch at the end of 2024.
First, how crazy is it that since we did the last episode, right before in December, I think, we did a full announcement that we're releasing this game on consoles. That has happened since the last time we spoke. I just find that to be crazy.
A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. But to go back to your question, since early access released, we've taken a lot of steps in different directions to make sure that we build and deliver a true sim racing experience, both for PC and for consoles.
There he goes again, ruining all my perfectly laid out plans, as always. Okay, let's skip a couple topics. We will revisit them later on again. We'll move straight to the console announcement. Thank you. So yes, you've heard it. RENNSPORT is coming to console in 2025. Morris, we are not doing this alone. We are doing this together with Nacon as our global publishing partner.
Yeah, we are super happy having Nacon on board for this. It's really, I think, a perfect fit with all the hardware Nacon is doing with RevoSim. Great stuff. Fits perfectly in our whole ecosystem. Yeah, the console announcement, I think, was a big thing. We worked on that for a while internally. It also brought us to our limits here and there, and maybe was also a bit the reason why the early access was not that smooth as we all would like to have it. But let's talk about later. Overall, I think it's just a great thing bringing a sim racing game as RENNSPORT to console, having it really on both big consoles and PC is just a great thing.
Do we already have a release date for the console version?
So for sure, we will release RENNSPORT this year. We have a date in mind, but we cannot announce it yet. But one thing is totally clear. The game will be released at the same time for all platforms, so means console and PC at the same time.
We're still holding our breaths, sort of, because there's this other title releasing this year that...
There's some other little titles.
Yeah, something with a 6 in the name. That's
It's really hard this year, to be honest, and I think all the publishers are circling around and not really defining a final release date, because there's this one huge title.
Yeah. And we should have a much clearer idea of this with the next Radio Check. It depends on a few factors, but we're going to talk about it next Radio Check, so stay tuned for that one. Now then, Kim, we have a community question, which is, will we have a beta or playtest for the console scheduled?
For the console, right now, we have nothing planned in terms of a playtest or beta. That doesn't mean that can't change over the course of the next few months that is left until we go to release. But as far as right now, we don't have anything planned.
Okay, then I have another community question from Morris this time. Will the damage system get carried over to console?
So we have, when we decided really to go on console, we talked a lot, and one thing was clear. When we go on console, we would like to have 100% exact the same experience we deliver for PC, and all our PC users and community we would like to bring to console as well. So that creates a lot of work for us, because we had to overwork the cars and the damage system. but we will bring the whole damage system we have for PC to console as well.
And this is of course necessary for crossplay. So what does crossplay mean, Morris?
What does crossplay mean? So bringing a simulation like RENNSPORT to console makes for me just sense when you really have the chance to play online with all the RENNSPORT users, and that means jumping on our servers as the PC users are familiar with at the moment, also will be possible for all the console players. So means Xbox, PlayStation 5, PC racers can race each other online on RENNSPORT.
And I think what's really interesting with that is when we talk about crossplay in other genres like shooters, for example, the conversation is always about controller versus keyboard and mouse and who has the advantage with aim assist for controllers or better precision with mouse and keyboard. Sim racing is sort of like equal in that sense, where you can plug a steering wheel into your PlayStation and your PC and play crossplay, but on equal grounds in terms of hardware, which is pretty unique for that genre itself. And it's going to make for a better, diverse community.
Now we are completely off my carefully crafted plan here.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So we're gonna jump back to where we initially were gonna be, which is, Kim, the early access launch in 2024.
Yeah, so Morris mentioned it earlier, that we launched in early access in December. The launch might not have gone in the exact way that we planned it to go or the way that we hoped. We made a couple of judgment errors, I would say, in the way that we presented some of the things that we wanted to give to players. And believe me when I say we've listened to that feedback. We've heard everything everybody said. We've gone through every single comment across Steam, social media, everywhere. Like we understand what mistakes we made, and our focus since December until today, we've focused on really trying to fix everything that we think we made wrong, basically.
Right, so you talked about how we listened to the feedback and how we have somewhat implemented some of it already. And the first step to that was the early access 1.12.12 update, with the biggest thing of it being, Kim, the improved driving experience.
Yeah, one feedback point that echoed across every single place that you can comment on was that the driving did not feel up to par to what it should be. We had a lot of people saying that it felt worse than it did before we did early access. And this sort of surprised us because that was not the intention. That was not planned from our side to make anything worse. So we took that feedback to heart. We reworked the GT3s. We looked at the tires, we looked at the physics, we looked at basically everything across those 5 GT3 cars that we have in the game right now. And we made them fun to drive. They behave in the way that you would expect them to behave now. Tires feel way more realistic than before. And we have driving characteristics in those cars now that make them really, really fun to compete in. So I think we succeeded in fixing that main problem that we felt like we had. And the work doesn't stop there, right? Now we're moving on to the rest of the cars that we have to make sure that we can offer a cohesive experience across all the car classes, all the cars. So whatever you drive, you feel like you're driving a RENNSPORT car.
If you have not tried this yet, I would suggest you give it a try. It's actually a lot of fun right now. And there are quite a few races filling up, so go in and jump in. It's a lot of fun. So next to this driving experience, we also fixed some game crashes that were plaguing the community. Some settings were previously not saved that are being saved right now. We had random disconnects from longer sessions. We had also a big thing actually. During the standing starts, all cars are ghosted. So previously we had the situation where people could just jump the start, crash into other cars, and then we would get a bunch of chaos everywhere with penalties and whatever. That is fixed now, so this is not going to happen anymore. Don't worry about it. And of course, a lot of other stuff as well. And as Kim said, that's not all, because we are also looking for future patches with things like resolving the hardware compatibility issues, which we still have a few of, and also a proper in-game driver reporting system. Highly requested. We are currently doing it via Discord, which is, let's be honest, not optimal. and it's gonna be possible via the game. Hashtag soon.
Hashtag soon.
Hashtag soon.
I think it's worth to mention, like everything on that list is basically things reported from the community as pain points that the people wants to see fixed to create a better experience. And we looked at everything that we have. We have a long list of things that we know we need to fix, and we started to like cross them off.
And we are gonna continue doing that. Our list is still quite long, I would say.
Yeah.
So a lot of work to do, but we are getting there. We are getting there. Now, Kim, a community question that ties perfectly into this. Is there going to be improved audio for cars?
Yes, and I'm so happy that we can talk about this, because audio has been something that we've been saying internally that it's a very important part of the driving experience, because you can only get so much feedback when you drive something virtually. So sound becomes like a part of your feedback experience that helps you make decisions. It helps you understand what's going on around you on track. And right now we have reworked and remastered basically every single audio point in the game. Like everything is completely mixed and mastered. We're adding better 3D audio, better spacing, so it sounds good in cockpit view, in third-person chase cam view, in broadcasting. It just creates a very good overall experience now, no matter how you look at the game or from what angle you do it. And with that, this will launch an update soon, and together with a freshly recorded Mercedes AMG GT3 sound that we went to the Nürburgring to record like 2 weeks ago. Completely new, sounds incredible.
To follow up real quick with another community question. Are you going to add new audio features to the game, like menu music and so? Most important would be audio cues for yellow flag ahead and such in like a crew chief type system.
Yeah, we're following up the UI rework we did late last year with new UI sounds, and that also comes with music. So there's going to be something that fills up all the empty sounding things between races. That's coming at least maybe before release, but at least latest at release. And then we're looking into now how we're going to approach the race engineer or the race spotter kind of audio as well. That will not be in the game for launch, but it will come in an update after launch.
So you have talked about we are also improving the audio for broadcasts, which ties perfectly into the next topic, which is the RENNSPORT R1 new season.
Finally.
Started, finally. It has been a while. You can watch it, the official races, on the RENNSPORT YouTube and RENNSPORT Twitch channels. And more is finally something where you can talk again. I'm sorry for skipping over you a bit.
I'm here, I'm still here.
That's good, he's still awake. We will be at EWC again this year.
Yeah, it's the third time that we go to Saudi Arabia. The second EWC. With our 12 online races we will have for R1 this year, so the ongoing sporting at the moment, and then we will go to EWC with 9 of the teams. So yeah, it's always exciting to be part of that. It's for sure the biggest esport event worldwide. With this year I think 22 or 23 games. And we're again part of that, so it's always a great thing.
As the only racing title, right?
As the only racing title, yeah.
And one small little addition actually, during the RENNSPORT R1 broadcasts on Twitch, you can actually get a little bonus, I'd say, because we have the Iron Dames livery for the Porsche GT3 in the game now, which you can claim as a stream drop. All you have to do is simply watch a specified amount of time, then you can claim this and race with the Iron Dames livery in-game.
It's a great looking livery. I don't know the full story behind it, but they went to their fans and asked them to write stuff on post-its, and then they created the livery out of post-its, like a pinkish colored post-its across the whole. It looks amazing.
Yes. Anyways, we are now moving into the things that we are working on for 2025. With Kim kicking off, what can the community expect in 2025?
So we touched upon the launch, right? So we're going to launch RENNSPORT, and I already touched upon our path from now until release will be to try to fix as many of the community reported issues as possible, polishing up some of the aspects of the game, like we mentioned with audio, for example, to increase or improve the things we already have, physics on the remaining car classes that we have, for example. And then I think we will deep dive into this a bit more in the next episode of the Radio Check, where we're going to talk about what's in the actual launch box, what comes after launch, how does the season structure work, etc. But for 2025, biggest focus, getting this thing out on consoles and PC at the same time, while also making sure that every aspect we have of the game is as finely polished as we can make it.
And one of those polishes, let's call it, is something that Morris can probably comment on, which is we will simplify our pricing model.
Yeah, for sure. With all the feedback we got from the early access and all what we learned there, we really overworked our strategy. I would say dramatically.
I think we tried too many things at once.
We really tried too many things at once, and we took a step back, and we will come to market with the pricing model, which is really for sure more familiar with the overall community, and also which fits for sure better into our overall console strategy. So this is definitely a bigger part, and we would love to talk about in the next Radio Check and present what we have in mind and how it will look like.
But sort of the goal is to make it as easy as possible to jump in and connect with anyone, no matter what the platform that you choose to play on. It should not be complicated to play a game together with your friends.
That's the goal. Now, Morris, you will be very glad to hear that the next topic is your favorite topic. I know you have not talked much this Radio Check yet, but this is where you can truly shine, because we are talking about some upcoming app updates. So,
yeah,
talk us through it.
So I always love to talk about the app.
Obviously.
For sure. Next step will be there is a bigger release for the app beginning of May, where we will add some absolute new key features. And also the app will get a kind of a rework with a new starting screen, with a new technology which enables us to drop items in a better way and an easier way, and also the profile is reworked, is now better, and the really thing I like most of all the reworks is the overall garage. We will add 3D garage. And we will have it sorted in a new way, really, with all the feedback we got for the app, and that looks incredible. So it's a cool thing.
And if you guys have any other features that you would like to see in the app, let us know in the comments below. We are always open for feedback. But yeah, let's move on with another community question for Kim. When will VR return?
Oh, VR is such an important part of the sim racing community and sim racing as a whole. We know that. We tested VR a while ago in a beta form, got super good feedback from the community that tested it. Right now, the focus for us is to make sure that we can launch on PC and consoles first, while simultaneously trying to get the VR up to a quality level where we feel like we can release it. And what that means is that we want to do it as soon as we possibly can, and while also looking at the PC VR market, we're also looking at other headsets like the PSVR 2, for example, and how that factors into that whole strategy, right?
Correct. And then that follows up with the next community question again on things that when will we add something? This time it's about AI.
Oh, AI will definitely, Morris, be in
for sure.
Be in at launch. PC console launch in Q3 will have AI drivers available in it.
Will the gameplay HUD be updated?
Yes, we are working on to bring the gameplay HUD into sort of the same style as the rest of the UI that we did an overhaul on last year, to just modernize the looks of it, make sure everything looks cohesive with the rest of the experience. A big focus on that is also to make sure that the penalty messages and the caution messages that we have, yellow flags, blue flags and all that, is presented in a way that is easier to follow while driving, and also present stuff like penalties in the tower, so it's clear. Let's say the information distribution in our new HUD that we're working on is way, way better than it currently is.
Another question for Kim again. Will you be implementing guidance features like the racing or cornering line and a braking zone indicator?
Yes. So first step for this, for us, it goes sort of hand in hand with the AI drivers for us, because we can use sort of like the same systems to build different feature sets from them. So we will have a racing line available at launch together with the AI drivers, like mentioned before. And from there, we're going to look at what other assistant systems is beneficial to the players, and we will start to add those as well.
Question from Morris, which is, will there ever be a track creator, like in a modding sense?
Yeah, we have our basic track creation tools we are using internally. So we brought several community racetracks to RENNSPORT, and they are available with Orchard Road and Crest. And others will follow. For us, it's really just a question when we feel good and when we are ready to give it to the community, that they really can start working with these tools as well. And also it was a bit challenging now with adding the overall console environment, how to work with that and how to proceed. But modding content available in RENNSPORT. So yeah, we are on a good way, and for us it's just a question when we can give the tools to the community.
Then another question for Kim again. Will the console version have features like driver swaps and endurance race support, or is it something planned for a later date?
So like we've said before today, the console version and the PC version will be the exact same version. They will have the same features, the same content. For launch, we're not adding driver swaps, but that is obviously something to encourage crossplay and to play with your friends no matter where they play, to be able to team up and swap in a race between each other. Obviously a big important feature.
And then the last question targeting Kim specifically, in my opinion at least, is a very specified one. Will we have Chinese language support?
I'm happy to say that we do actually have Chinese language support. It's not translated by me, obviously.
Luckily.
But we have Chinese, and that's part of at least 10 other languages that,
more than 10, I think.
Be in the game for launch, yes.
Yeah.
If we launch with something and somebody feels like we don't support their language, we can always add something later. So if you want your language in the game, you can just go to the Discord, say I want Swedish in the game, for example, and maybe somebody listens.
Maybe somebody listens. Let's hope Kim is not the one translating it then. Okay, and now we are actually at the last question that I'm gonna ask both of you. Let's start with Kim, and then Morris can finish it off. What is the most exciting thing or improvement that you're working on now that players should be looking forward to, in your opinion?
I mentioned it before, but something that I really, really enjoyed and I take a lot of pride in what we managed to do is to start to get our cars into a space where you can feel that RENNSPORT characteristic of the car, which makes it so fun to drive. And once we nail this across all the different car classes that we have, that's going to be an experience that you can't have anywhere else. But as apart from that, in terms of like the new things we're launching with, I'm really looking forward to the single player experience, because I think we've sort of started creating a system where we can offer really enticing single player content, because we know our multiplayer is really good. Side to side action is really good in RENNSPORT, have always been in multiplayer. Taking that into a single player experience, I'm really looking forward to see that come to life and let people experience that as well.
Mm-hmm. Another Morris part.
For me, for sure, it's crossplay. Really, with these physics and simulation part we have for PC, and with all these accuracy, we were focused on making really a great driving experience and bringing this to console with the same level, and then enabling all these players driving together online. This is for me really the big thing, and this is for me what I like most at the moment, for sure.
Perfect, then thank you both. This was the last question. As mentioned in the beginning, we will see you again for the next rework check, where we'll go into details on a bunch of juicy stuff. We have a lot of that scheduled.
Hashtag soon. However you do a hashtag, I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, we have improved the driving experience. It, in my opinion, feels very good right now. You should really give it a try if you have not done so yet. Give it another shot. We currently have, I think when this video comes out, it should be the case, we will have content creator races on the schedule, so you can just jump in one of those races. Maybe you will see your favorite content creator on the track there as well. Could be fun. And with that, we're done. Thank you very much for listening in, and we will see you, #, very soon.
Let's go for a burger.
Thank you, gents.
Morris is
Thank you.
hungry.
We have a wrap, boys.
Yes.
We did it.